get is, I don't know anything about racing. This is true. You're right. You're in the wrong show.
Yeah.
You're watching the wrong show if you want to hear like super engineer stuff. In case you were wondering,
Erasure
no,
from existence is what happened there.
no, Moni did not have a sex change. Everybody, that is.
Evan's done shows with us, man. Everyone knows Evan.
This is Evan Sohn now here.
He just finally got around to updating
full time, as we call him, full time Evan now. All right, full time Evan on the show. We booted Mo from the show. All right, Moni is gone. I don't want her around here anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Moni. We love you, man. This is season 3 of Hitting the Apex. Forget about Drivers to Survive. This is where the real deal Holyfield stuff is at, right here. All right, this is season 3 of Hitting the Apex. Again, Vish, Evan, we're back at it. This season looks to be a fun one, man, because we had so much shit go on in the off season. And then we're probably going to have so much go on during the season. And obviously 2025 is going to be huge because I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of changes. I mean, listen, not for nothing, but those guys back there, there's not going to be any excuses if you ask me at 2025. All right? Yep. Because the Tifosi need to prepare themselves for what they're going to get in at Ferrari in 2025. Obviously, everybody knows already Lewis Hamilton headed to Ferrari in 2025. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But, look, the 2024 season is coming up. It's getting started this week. This weekend in Bahrain. So we'll definitely. Oh, look at Jane. What's up, Jane? Look at that. The Sones family. I love them. Oh man, listen. The more the merrier. All right, we're gonna have to get the Santana family, the Parasurman family. All of them. We're gonna have to see. I said that name right. I said your last name right, bitch.
That was good.
You gotta give me some props, bro. I know what I'm doing around here.
Right? I'll give you props for going for it, but that was not even close.
Parasurman.
He didn't quite stick the landing.
No, he went for the overtake and overcooked it into the corner.
That's all right.
But at least he went for it.
It sounded good. It sounds good. It sounds good, and that's what matters. All right. I may not. Listen, if you're looking for super engineering stuff, you ain't gonna get it from me. You get that other stuff. All right.
He went for the overtake, so at least you gotta give me credit for that.
That's it, man. I'm like Liam Lawson.
The opening, and he stuck the car in there, and
that's it. I'm like Liam Lawson in an AlphaTauri. All right.
There you go.
Anyways, there he is.
What's up?
CCH 305. Well, the anonymous CCH.
Absolutely not me. I'll tell you
not
that
a chance in hell, my friend.
You know I will.
Evan,
wait. It's your birthday?
Yesterday.
Oh man.
Yesterday was my birthday.
Wait, happy birthday, Evan. What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
I know. Why don't you tell us anything?
No comms here.
No.
Just
listen. Let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is. We're all a bunch of degenerates, but the F1 degenerate is definitely Evan. All right, he's gonna take the cake because he's waking up at 4:00 in the morning to watch F3 and F2. There's not a chance.
I'm just getting out of work.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that's all right. That makes sense. That actually makes a little sense. Because sometimes you get home from work and you're like, I can't go to sleep right away, man.
Exactly.
You know, I get it. All right, fair enough. Well, you let us know how that goes. All right.
You got it. I'll be bringing the news and notes.
Yep, there we go. All right, so listen. So check this out. 2 days. Actually, in 2 days. We don't have to wait 3 days. In 2 days, you got Bahrain, right? You've got FP1 on Thursday, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but
get the schedule up here. So
yeah, it's coming up faster than you think. We had some testing done this week, Evan. This past weekend, this past week, we've got the new liveries out there, the new engines, the new cars, everything. Right, we've got everything out there. and it looks like some of the usual suspects, but some surprises as well. Who are you surprised by so far? And look, testing is what it is, right? They're saying that you know Max ran at what is it, low power mode and all this crap, and look, it's all this,
still
right?
indoors.
They're just talking, talking trash, trying to get in people's heads, and but the truth of the matter is, some of the other guys look good. Who were you most impressed by that look good in testing? And I know it doesn't really matter who gives a crap about testing, but at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for them to really kind of see where they're going to be at potentially.
Well, I mean, realistically, again, like you said, it's just testing. You don't know what fuel loads they're running. They're all running different tires throughout the different sessions. Some guys are on soft, some guys are on medium, some guys are heavier because of that fuel load. So it's just a basic, they're putting the cars out there, making sure they're reliable. They're trying to get a lot of time in the cars. They're trying to make sure the reliability of the engines, they'll be able to last. They'll do race distances. They'll do, qualifying simulations. They'll even do start simulations where you'll see a bunch of them in the pit lane just launching the car like if they're starting it. Overall, biggest stuff for me was you get to see the new Red Bull concept, kind of like a Mercedes, a couple years ago with the zero side pods ish. They got a little bit of a change going on there, which is really a big thing. A lot of people are really kind of, shaken up about that because nobody thought that anybody could make that concept work. And Adrian Newey, the designer for Red Bull, seemed to have, looked at that car and said, maybe I can work with this. And, that car still seems like a rocket ship. Teams that look better than I expected, definitely that new RB. The old AlphaTauri car, the new branded with the RB Visa Cash App team, they're probably in the top 5 of the fastest teams out there right now. If you're putting Red Bull and Ferrari, then McLaren and Aston Martin, Mercedes right there, they're right there with those last 3. They're really showing a good. They really showed good during testing, and that car can actually perform, whether they can develop it throughout the year and they have the reliability, working with that same Honda engine that Red Bull uses. We'll see how that works out, but overall, man, like I said, they've really impressed. Again, McLaren's doing decent, but we don't know the fuel loads because they really didn't get quite the top speed out of the car like Red Bull and Ferrari did. And then Ferrari's looking fantastic right now. They possibly could have a championship-winning car, if their reliability stays good as well. And we'll see how it works out with their driver lineup and everything, with how emotions run high in F1. We all know that. And Carlos Sainz, knowing that he's going to be out next year, he might take a few more chances than he would have before. He might be a little bit less of a smooth operator, as we like to say.
I think actually Carlos is going to drive, like you mentioned, right? He's going to take some more risks, but he's driving for the opportunity to either be on a really good team next year or on a mediocre team. That I think he's going to have a seat no matter what. He's too good of a driver not to, but I think it's going to depend on how good he does at Ferrari this year. That's going to kind of dictate whether maybe he's a Red Bull guy, maybe he's a Mercedes guy, who knows, or is he going to go down to Williams or Stake or Sauber or whatever you call it. There's a lot of options for him, but I think this is a big year for him, period. And I think that if he does good, obviously that bodes well for him and for Ferrari. Vish, is there anything that you're kind of looking forward to, or you kind of notice in testing, just based off of what you heard and saw?
I mean, Evan did a good job of kind of breaking down that it's hard to know what program the cars are running, so it's hard to read too much into it. There hasn't been anything dramatic in terms of rule changes, which would lead me to believe that Red Bull is not going to walk this again. And then after that, it's kind of who's the best of the rest. I will contradict one thing Evan said. I am very skeptical that the RB actually has that pace, and we'll know more this weekend. But I think I don't think they're up there with the McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, that group. I think they're a step down still. So that's
maybe I think that people are just not showing their guns yet. You know what I mean? They're showing everything.
More birthday wishes for Evan.
More birthday wishes.
Thank you guys.
I'm again, right? I kind of read the same things as you guys did. Red Bull looking sharp as usual. Ferrari looking a lot faster, looking really good, looking like they can compete a little bit. And then I think the McLarens are going to be pretty good. I'm interested in seeing how that duo Piastri and Lando kind of come back after a really solid, I guess, last third of the
Yeah.
year, right? Of the season last year. They looked really good. Is that car going to continue to be developed? Or are they going to kind of turn back, take two steps back again and have to play catch up again? I think if you watch some of the show, obviously you see, some of the guys that could be on the hot seat is definitely Zach Brown over at
Oh, yeah.
McLaren. He needs to be able to stay in that top three, maybe the top four, but I think that top three is where McLaren needs to be in order to kind of keep things rolling there. I will say this, right? I will say the Ferraris. This is I kind of equate it to Mario Kristovalvich. I don't want to, but it's what I think about because this is technically Fred Vasseur's first season with his car concept. I know the drivers you can't kind of control what you got in the drivers, right? You've got Leclerc and you got Sainz. You still got one of the best lineups in F1. But this is an opportunity where Vasseur was able to bring in some of his guys and and really help develop that new Ferrari. And we've noticed there's a significant change, specifically in those side pods. I think you noticed a huge change there. But I think this is an opportunity. You saw him poach some guys from Red Bull and Mercedes and whatnot, right? He's done a little bit of that. He's done a little bit of recruiting, as we like to say, and he's been able to do a good job in assembling a little more of his team. Last year, he kind of came in a little not last minute, but without
on the back foot,
to kind of do what he was able to do this year. So, and let's not forget, he was the only team. Right, he was the only team that beat Red Bull last year, regardless of what happened. I know there was a lot of crazy shit that happened in that race in Singapore, but the fact of the matter is he was able to do that, and I think that's a nice boost of confidence for Ferrari going into this year. Again, they're going to have to show it. They're going to have to perform in that car. There's no reason for them not to be competitive. I know Red Bull is still the class of F1, but it was a huge risk that they took, Red Bull, in the new concept, right? The new car. Yeah. I think considering how fast they were last year, it was unbelievably stupid how fast they were, right? This was a huge risk that Adrian Newey took, but he's the best of the best. So I think that he's not going to do anything without really making sure that the car is still going to be, the best on the grid anyways. So I think that it's going to be a battle between them two, but at the end of the day, Red Bull has still got the upper hand, and we're not going to see much of a change there until potentially 2026 when the new regulations come out. So but you never know. This is Formula One, and you've got upgrades, you've got drivers that suck, that can't finish a race anyways. And so a lot of things could change, and a lot of things do change in the span of one race. So with that being said, I think that we're looking forward to Bahrain because it's the start of the season. It's the start of season 7 of Drive to Survive. We don't have to sugarcoat that. But no, I think it's going to be interesting. Not only that, right? You've got some new bosses. Gunther Steiner is out. I know he's
oh my God.
He's that was sad, right? Heartbreaking to see that guy leave, man. F1.
Oh no.
Okay.
The star of the show.
Controversial take here. Are we sure he's good at his job?
No, not at all.
Right, no, not at all.
I can't believe he's out. I'm like, they've been awful.
That's not why we're sad that he's out.
The entire time he's been on that show,
he got robbed.
The funny thing is he was one of the most highly touted prospects to be a team principal coming out of Red Bull. He was with Red Bull for a long time. He was Christian Horner's right-hand man for a long time. And coming from them, it was like, oh, this is the next great TP. This is the next great, team principal for a team. You got to get him. You got to get him. And it's just turned out that he's just a great personality. I mean, realistically, I think that he was marketing that team just as much as he was controlling that team.
Listen, Christian Horner definitely is no no Bill Belichick or Nick Saban apparently. So,
well, I mean, the thing is, like, the reason I asked, are we sure he's good at his job? Is, I mean, what are you going to do with Haas? So it wasn't exactly like they were going to be winning races with a different team principal, but also never actually saw him do anything other than.
It's an Asian dude, right? A Chinese dude that's now there, in place as the boss. Yes. Yeah, I forgot his name. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It was an in-house promotion, which is kind of weird when they fired him, but
yeah, it was. Let's kind of move along. We've got some really cool things to kind of cover here with Bahrain. It is a Saturday race, as we kind of mentioned a little bit at the beginning of the show, which is interesting. It's interesting. Hold on, I'm just moving my stuff around here. It's trying to be crazy. Here we go. So here's the schedule now. A little bit different. It is Bahrain race number 1. Here it is, March 2nd, which is that's a race. Excuse me. I got to go from down up. Oh gosh, F1. Okay, practice FP1 is the 29th. Shout out to Abuela. That's her birthday. It's my grandmother's birthday, February 29th, leap year.
Nice.
She's really only 20 years old, guys. So, but yeah, so FP1, 6:30 in the morning. Again, I will probably be up, but not watching because I have to get ready for work. Maybe I'll watch a little bit as I get ready for work. And then you've got FP2 again at 10 in the morning on that Thursday as well. And then you kind of move over to March 1st. We've got FP3 and qualifying as well at 11 p.m. And then you've got the race at 10 a.m., which is nice. That's a nice time frame for us to watch the race at 10 a.m. You don't have to get up too early. You can kind of get up and chill out, have your coffee, and watch the Bahrain Grand Prix, baby, March 2nd at 10 a.m. Let's look a little further down there, Vish. What else do we got here for this race? Oh, you got it there. You know what's funny, though, by the way, before we even move on to the track and all that stuff, isn't it crazy that, like, last year, we always kept doing our predictions. We always kept saying, well, this is what's going to happen. Every single time something crazy happened, like that day in FP1 or in qualifying, where we'd be like, yeah, this guy's going to sit on pole, and all of a sudden, boom. It was so wild, everything that happened last year, and all our predictions barely came true. I think we might have hit one time in total the whole entire season. But Vish is the best at it. So here is the Bahrain Grand Prix. First one was in 2004, so this is the 20th anniversary of this race. 57 laps. Very, very, very interesting track. You've got a lot of turns. You've got a lot of squiggly lines there, but you've got some straights. You got some straights in section, what was it, section 1, right? Is that right? Sorry, section corner 1. I was looking at the unbelievable. I was looking at the sectors and I was saying section.
I was sitting there talking about it. No, it's going. It's a clockwise circuit. So
you got a little mix of everything here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like a Red Bull race.
They all do.
Yeah.
It looks like a Red Bull track to me too, John. I was like, concur.
This is a Red Bull track, guys.
I think they'll do well there. They'll
be all right. They'll be all right. Ferrari could give them a run for their money, but then again, it is Ferrari. So, So what do you guys? So we've got 3 DRS detection zones. Have the rules changed? Regulations changed this year already with regards to DRS as far as when DRS opens up? Isn't it after the first lap now? Or is it after the second lap?
Yeah, no, they changed it. Yeah,
they did, right?
It's after the first lap now.
So that's something that's interesting because now that might make the racing a little more competitive at the beginning, potentially, right? And not necessarily at the front, but towards the middle and the back. I think you might see the drivers either be a little more aggressive or be a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Conservative. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I think the reasoning was everyone's trying to figure out a way to be more competitive with Red Bull, and they think if they put it on pole, it's much harder to open a second gap in one lap versus 2.
Exactly.
And that way they can hopefully like the trail car has DRS before like the Max disappears off the road and it's just like gone. I think though it's one of those careful what you wish for things because now if a car's in front of the Red Bull, we know how their DRS is game over. Yep. So, what they need to do is just ban Red Bull from using DRS. That's the only way to get this to work.
No kidding, man. No kidding. That's gonna be interesting. Look at all this love for Evan though. This is the F1 love show with Evan Soames. That's what it is. Hitting the apex, man. Yeah, that's gonna stand for something else apparently later. Anyways, I digress. Let's look a little bit further down at the tire compounds. Now, tires, have they changed too much this year, Evan? Are you seeing a difference in reliability on these tires as far as wear and tear? Is there anything that you're kind of looking at with the tires? I don't know. Where are the tires? You have the tires there?
I mean, really with the tires, it's another year with similar regulations. It's another year with, not very many changes aerodynamically. Yeah. These teams have worked through these tires already through 2 years since they changed the aerodynamics. And there was a little bit of a change last year where they had a little bit softer. I believe it was an extra, softer compound tire that they used. So again, this year it's just another year of knowing it. There really wasn't many issues with like any problems through the testing. There was a couple teams still had a few issues with degradation. McLaren being one of them, going into the testing period. So, like I said, the teams pretty much have a good handle on these tires again this year. I'm sure that there's slight changes in the compound and stuff like that that Pirelli has made. But overall, these teams know what they're getting out of these tires as long as they know the concept of their car and how it plays with them. And that's really what you worry about in regards to this. Going into each weekend, all these teams have used every single one of these compounds for the most part and know where they're going to be at and how many laps they can last on it, and depending on the temperature of the track and the way that the surface is made up at each one of these tracks. There's so much data going right now after being that this is the third year in these regulations with this type of new generation car, so it's one of those things that each team is going to go at it differently. The tires are the deciding factor usually when it comes to race in Bahrain. Teams blast through them with how rough that circuit is. They always had issues in testing, but like I said, this year there really wasn't that many issues. The only real issues with the tires in testing is the fact that they're going wide at a couple of spots on the track and breaking up the drains on the circuit. But other than that, it seems like it should be another solid year for Pirelli without a lot of real big blowouts like we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I think that. I know a team like Ferrari had some issues with degradation last year as well, and as you mentioned, I think the new design of some of these cars might impact what that is now moving forward. Could potentially help. It could be worse, right? Now you're just going to have to. That's what testing is for. I get it. So I think they're going to have to kind of gauge and see throughout practice and throughout the race what it is that they're going to need to do to be successful in this race.
Yep.
Let's see what we got here. So as I mentioned, it is a Saturday race. Let's want to talk about Vish. What do you want to do now? You want to do predictions already? You ready to do predictions?
Why don't we just take a look at the new cars here and
let's do the new cars. Which ones do you like the best? Yeah.
So here's your teams.
All right.
A lot of them are similar, but then we get to the
Alpine, the Fighting Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
There's a couple of rebrands here that are going to look shocking on the grid.
I know.
I love that green. I love that green.
Sauber instead of that's still formerly known as Alfa Romeo. There, sitting there.
I think it's pretty cool.
And realistically, we're only going to have to deal with that green for 2 years until they switch over to Audi in 2026.
Yep.
Because they'll probably still have the green a little bit here and there because I'm sure if they still have that sponsorship, but I absolutely love it. I think it's great that there's that bright color out there because all of these cars have gone so little and so light on the colors because they want to have as least amount of paint on there. Like
Right.
the Williams is showing in this picture a lot of blue, but realistically that car is almost completely carbon fiber. It's almost completely, paintless.
Well,
And
steak won't be on the Sauber in Spain, right? Because the gambling is illegal there, so it'll be
really,
it'll be taken off.
oh,
When they were
wow.
in Barcelona doing their runs, they didn't have the steak brand on the car either. So I think that you'll see that a little bit different as well. The one I like, I'll be honest with you, right? Like the Haas looks nice just because it says Haas really big.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, but the Aston looks good. The Papaya Power is looking sharp, but that Racing Bulls RB is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it saying Visa, right?
Yeah.
But as far as like the color concept, it's pretty cool. Color concept.
It's kind of a throwback to the old Toro Rosso liveries. If you look at some of the old
Still got the
Toro
bull
Rosso,
up there too. They still
yeah.
got the bull up there, which is nice.
If you look at that, you'll see that there's the paint jobs that they had when back when Vettel was there and stuff like that. Like they had a similar paint scheme to that before they switched over to AlphaTauri. It was a similar color concept to that where it was the white and the blue and then the red outline style of it. And it's a fantastic looking car as well. Yeah.
My boys added a little more red, took off a little more black. And they went with a little more yellow and white as well. So, and you can tell in their uniforms as well, in their suits, they've got more red and white and yellow. But very similar to last year's livery over for Ferrari, but you kind of see a little more red, which I like. I mean, it's pretty cool, and obviously the actual design itself has completely changed. So, I like what they did with it. I wasn't a huge fan of those huge side pods that they had last year, so. I'm pretty excited to see what they do this year. Who's your favorite, Bish? Which one do you like the best?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I'll just go with the Sauber just because it's good to see new.
It's cool, yeah. It's different.
New cars out there. I mean,
for sure.
This is a good thing, but back 10 years ago, several of the manufacturers would fail every year, so you'd always get new cars in there, and it's kind of stopped this whole stability thing. It's taking that away, so it's nice to see some rebrands here on the grid. So we still have something new.
Oh boy!
When we watch Max slapping them, it'll be good to see.
Exactly.
Poor guys, don't do that to them.
If the lights go out, you'll be able to see the Kick Sauber car too. It glows in the dark.
Yeah, no kidding, for real, man. Oh boy! All right. Very nice.
Is it time for the predictions? You want the season predictions too?
Yeah, I think so. So really quick, right? The biggest thing. Okay, I want to actually kind of talk about this news, right? We basically talked about the rebranding. Biggest news in the off season, hands down, no doubt, is
Lewis Hamilton.
Forza Ferrari, baby. Let's go. Getting the goat over. Getting the goat over to Maranello and doing some big thing. Is it Maranello? Yeah, it's Maranello, right? Is it Maranello? Yeah, it's Maranello. I don't know why. I was thinking Monza, but the same shit, I guess. Pretty excited about it. When you guys first heard it, I know we talked about it a little bit last year that there were rumblings about him kind of leaving and that Ferrari was one of the names. But did you guys think that this would really happen? Real quick, just get your take on this. What did you think, Evan? You really think it was going to happen?
No, I never thought it was going to happen. I mean, realistically, this shows that they've lost so many people at Mercedes that they're struggling to try to keep back up with Ferrari and with Red Bull. And he sees that. I mean, he looks at what happened last year. If any of our viewers watch, Drive to Survive, you can really see it in there, the frustration and the animosity between him and Toto. These guys have worked together for 10 years. They won 7 championships with each other, or he has 7 championships. They've won so many championships with each other. And the thing about it is that at this point there needs to be a change within the Mercedes program. They have to figure out something that's gonna get them back to where they were. And Lewis Hamilton doesn't have time for that. He knows that his time in Formula One is limited. I kind of equate this to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback, arguably in the history of the NFL, and he left the Patriots that he was with for 20 years or whatever it was, and went to a team that he felt like was on the up and up and had the pieces in place that he was missing to be able to win that final championship. And that's what Lewis Hamilton sees with Ferrari,
and he did it. So that's great. Yeah. So now Ferrari, Hamilton's going to do it at Ferrari.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
By the way, Kane's Cats Heat. That's a bold take, bro. That's a bold statement there to think that you're going to see 3 to 4 new rookies next year on the grid. That's tough. But
he said bold, so
yeah.
He did say bold, so he went bold.
That is pretty bold.
Kane's mention how good Andrea Antonelli is going to be. That's what I was talking to them about.
What about LeBron James? What about LeBron James? Apparently, LeBron James is going to go to Mercedes. So that's pretty good.
He's almost the size of the whole car.
Yeah, he's not going to fit in that
his
car.
His wingspan can reach from tire to tire, probably.
Unbelievable, man! Unbelievable. All right, let's do it. You ready, Vish?
We should keep track this year. We always do this for fun. We should keep track this year.
No, I keep track, bro. I have it written down.
Oh,
I have it written down. I'm writing. I'm starting to write. Look, as a matter of fact, I'm going to brand new page.
We should keep track of this.
Are we doing season predictions, or we're
going to do season and race? We'll start off with let's start off with the season, right? Let's start off with season predictions. So I'm going to track this season predictions. All right, so season predictions, we're going to do constructors and then driver.
Is there a dissenting opinion on Max and Red Bull here?
Maybe not. Who knows? Okay. You ready?
Ready?
Constructors. Evan, you first. Let's do it.
Constructors, I'm going Red Bull. I mean, it's hard to not go with Red Bull.
Yeah, I get it. Red Bull or RB? No, I'm just kidding.
Red Bull.
And
the mothership.
Who's winning the drivers' championship? Zhou Guan Yu?
I'm gonna go with Max again.
Yeah.
I know it's the easy pick.
Boo.
But what I will say though is I think, and we could put this in the bold prediction spot on there if you want for the season.
Okay,
let's
do bold. Bold.
I think Ferrari's gonna win more than just one race, and they're gonna really push him for the season this year. I think it's gonna come down to the last 3 races.
So Ferrari over 1 win. How about that? Over 1 win. Vish, what do you got, bud? What do you got, buddy?
Yeah,
you're gonna go chalk here, Red Bull and Max also?
Yeah, it is. And actually I agree with Kane's Cats Heat over here. I think it's not that one. I get the wrong one. I think there's a better chance of this happening than it being competitive. He's not going to win every race because something will happen. But I think he'll win at least half of them. He's going to coast to victory. I will say this though. My bold prediction is Checo will not finish second. Someone is going to, even though he's in the fastest car by far, he sucks.
He sucks.
So he is not going to finish second. Someone will finish ahead of him. Car. Someone ahead of them. Someone will finish ahead of him in the drivers.
Well, I think Max wins the drivers' championship, but I think Ferrari wins the constructors just for that reason, because Checo sucks.
That's actually a very good point.
I think Max will score enough points to win the constructors by himself.
He probably could win it by himself. Yeah.
I don't think
but that's neither here nor there. Okay.
But I mean, realistically, if Checo doesn't perform and they do like what Kane's Cats Heat said, they do switch to Danny Rick to put in that car mid-season. I mean, he's got to be out of the points almost for most of the races for them to make that switch. And if that's the case, then that opens up that opportunity for Ferrari to put a good lead up there if Carlos and Charles can work together and stay up in the top 5 with each other throughout the first half of the year. If something like that happens again, that would be a great storyline. But
Absolutely.
that's actually a really good prediction for the constructors because of that exact reason.
Gosh, what's my bold prediction? I'm gonna say that
Carlos Sainz wins more races than Charles Leclerc again.
Is that bold? It's happened already. So I mean, I'm gonna say, what about that Piastri finishes in
ahead of Norris
in the top 4 of the drivers? Piastri in the top 4 finish.
If that happens, Lando goes to Red Bull. Oh no, he just resigned.
Yeah, he just resigned. He's not going anywhere.
Damn.
All right.
I forgot he just resigned.
I'm just telling you, Logan will score some points this year. I mean, that's
a bold prediction.
The person going to a Red Bull is going to be Ricardo eventually.
I think it's going to be
staying in that whatever they're calling it, RB, whatever they're calling it this year. He's not staying in that car.
He's going to be a Red Bull driver for sure.
Christian Horner has a love affair with Lando Norris. We all know this.
He also likes Danny Rick, though. He likes him.
No, yeah. That's his man crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also under contract, so.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Bahrain, ladies and gentlemen. Bahrain. Let's go Vish, Jazz, and then we'll do Evan. So, Vish, what do you got, man?
I mean, Max is going to win the race.
Boring.
But hold on. Look, man. You know how I do this, so it's going to go off the rails from there. All right.
Like Max, Bottas, and
well, I'm gonna go Hamilton second.
Okay, all right, baby.
And
the future Tifosi, I like it.
Yeah, and then third is Alonso.
All right,
and then the surprise bold prediction. I mean, we got to start off the year right. George Russell DNF.
There it is. There
it is. You gotta do it.
Welcome back, please.
It's New Year, same me.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, I like it. So because of that, I hate you guys. I'm gonna go Max, and then I'm gonna go Leclerc Hamilton, and then my bold prediction will be I'm going to go with Checo outside the top 10.
Checo out of the points.
Checo out of the points, yeah. Checo, no points. No points. All right, Evan, what do you got?
I am calling for the first smooth operation of the year being the first race.
Jesus, I like your style, my friend. I like it.
I'm going Carlos Sainz for the first race. He was showing really, really well in testing. The Ferrari's fast. If he can get out front in the beginning of the race, we still as fast as this Red Bull looks, in testing and everything, you gotta think that there's gonna be a chink in the armor somewhere. And we'll see how it works out. We'll see how it plays out, throughout the race weekend. But man, I gotta see I want to see Carlos Sainz do something, drastic. The whole talk, like you said, of the year has been, Lewis Hamilton's coming in next year. I think Carlos Sainz is gonna come out like a bat out of hell and just say, you know what? He may be coming next year, but this is still my car. This is still my drive. This is still my seat, and he's gonna show out. Second and third, I think it's gonna be Max and I'll go with Leclerc. We'll put it, Ferrari double podium.
Starting right in the constructors, bro. Starting right in the constructors. I told you, Vish. It's over. Ferrari all the way.
Bold prediction for the Bahrain Grand Prix is that McLaren is only going to have to stop 3 times.
Only three stops.
3 stops
Jeez.
per car or total?
No, per car. Instead of 11 or 12, instead of 11 or 12 like they did last year.
Lando having to pit every 2 laps last year to top off his
every
fluids.
2 laps.
That's brutal.
And Oscar Piastri having the problem with his steering wheel.
Oh God! All right.
No doubt, man. No doubt. We need Russell.
Yeah, we do need Russell. I would love for Carlos to win too because he is, he's one of my favorite drivers. If not my favorite driver, I love him. So I really want to. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him do well. That's it. Who puts it on pole? Who do you guys think puts it on pole?
I think Carlos puts it on pole.
Yeah,
I'm going with him right now. Like I said, that car is super fast. You're gonna see it going on light fuel. You're gonna see it going with the soft tires. I think that car has what it takes to be put on pole, and I think that he's gonna be pushing hard for himself, and that team's gonna be pushing hard to come out of the gate strong.
I like it. Let's do it. All right. Well, make sure you guys tune in to us here. Follow us on Twitter at F1_5 reasons as well. I know Evan's going to be putting out some really cool content on motorsports in general, so keep it locked for that. You'll see some of that go up as well. We are going to come on. I'm not sure if we're going to come on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or what we're going to do, but
it's going to depend. I mean,
it's all going to depend.
At this point, though.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It'll be a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Got to work it around basketball, baseball, and football. So
yep. We do. So
we'll figure it out. Yeah,
it will.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you guys watch the race. We will talk about it next week on
Thursday
on the recap, and the baseball show is on Thursday. We've got David Gill coming on the show.
Yep.
So make sure you keep it locked. David Gill will be on the show on Thursday to talk the Florida Gators as they come into town to take out the Canes. So make sure you keep it locked for that Thursday show. That's going to be a fun one. We may have another guest. Who knows? We'll see. Make sure you keep it locked. Follow us on Twitter at F1_5 reasons for the Hitting the Apex show. And make sure you check us out on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel as well. Subscribe, hit the like button, and you'll get all the content there as well. We will see you guys next week. And thanks. Let's go.
Yep.